Thank
Boom.
you.
There you
Thank you
go.
so much, Angie.
Thank you, powers that be. But unless I'm like in the hospital or dead, I will be at the events. I've never missed an event in nearly 18 years. And I truly believe that it is one of the things that has kept my head in the game and has helped me. The first one obviously just blew my mind because at that point it was just my brother and sister who got me into my first company's living room business. It wasn't a global multi-million dollar business, but when you see millionaires going off across the stage, and they're really not that much different than you. They're all shapes and sizes and colors and personalities and backgrounds and geographies and small towns, big towns, accents, no accents. I really got the vision that why not me? And so I went into that like, okay, this sounds good. Sure. I've made like a couple $100 at that time. And I'd been in 3 months. I lost money for a straight 3 months, a lot of money. I kept investing in myself. I kept investing, I kept showing up. And that event is where my hope became belief. And I knew it. And I made a decision. So tonight's call, we're going to talk about decisions because that was the day. I mean, when you join, when you're like, oh yeah, I'll sign up, I'll buy a distributor kit or consulting kit, I'll see where this goes. That's not a decision. All you did is decide to buy product. To build a business is a different decision. And that was the day that I said, I am going to do this no matter what. And I will be a diamond by December. And a diamond, it was equivalent to somewhere between like an AC2 and AC3. So here I was hovering probably around the rank of like an MC1, about 10,000 a month in sales. And I was like, I'm going to be a diamond in June, July, August, September, October, November, 5 months. I'm going to be a diamond in 5 months. And my upline, who had lots of people like emeralds, which is right below, rubies, gold, silvers, and then I was bronze. I was bronze. So it goes bronze, gold, bronze, silver, gold, ruby, emerald, diamond. And I walked up to my upline, who had thousands of people in her team, and I put my hands on her shoulder and I looked her in the eye. I said, I'm going to be your first diamond. And she sat there, and I remember she tilted her head and she just looked in my eyes, and she slowly started, and she goes, I know. And she goes, I knew that day that you would. And by the way, I was, because I knew you knew. So there's a difference about signing up in a business and then making a decision. I knew then we had our hands on something great. You guys, it didn't even hold a little tiny candle to what we have in LifeVantage. In fact, I was sitting at dinner last night with the former chief science officer of LifeVantage, who has an extraordinary resume in product formulation, and he's a total geek, and he's got a lot of experience. He's working for like some of the biggest companies in the nutrition field right now. He's out of MLM and working for like monster company, like billion-dollar brands. You can't tell me which ones. I heard a couple, but he said, guys, I looked at your mind body, and oh my gosh, you guys nailed it. Your science team did an extraordinary job. And by the way, like, you're a year ahead of everyone else. You guys got to go. You got to ride this horse so hard this year. He goes, I've never seen a product like it. We talk about GLP-1 every day for all these companies we formulate for. He goes, you guys did good. So I'm like, yes, like that is such a good thing. So what are the decisions you need to make? So some of you guys have been around for a while, but you still, believe it or not, have not made the decision to go all in. All in is like a burn the bridge mentality. It's not like, oh, I'll see how it goes. I'll try to fit it in my nooks and crannies. I hate that saying, nooks and crannies. You know that I've never said side hustle. I have never said the phrase side hustle. And it was like a lapse of judgment, or that was like the trending thing, because this isn't a side hustle. This is a full-time multi-million dollar business for me that I'm the CEO of, and I wake up every day and how can I grow my business? And I have done that for the better part of almost 18 years. This is a decision. So the decision for me was back in June 30th, I believe, in 2007, that I am going to go to the top no matter what. I don't know how long it'll take. I don't know what I'll have to do. I don't know who's going to come into my business. And you got to just make the decision. When you make the decision, you do the things, and then the things come to you. All my family was already in my company. I was literally the last person to join, and all my friends said no. They were all mid 30s. We all had our own things. You guys have heard Angie's story. If you haven't, you'll hear it again like 1,000 times. Um, but like, all my friends said no, and I had no warm market. Oh, and I almost got fired from my incredible 6-figure job that is a wholesale mortgage rep for talking to people there before, like, I got called in the office and says, you can't talk about another business here. What are you doing? And I was like, okay, so, what do I do? Right. But the fact is, I made my decision that I was doing this and I would figure it out. So I went on Craigslist. I started asking everyone, who do you know who? I started running into, other mortgage reps in the field. So they would be in another company and be like, I got to know this guy, Rodell. I'm like, hey, Rodell, what are you up to? Like, you want to make some money on the side? He's like, sure. He was like my very first, second guy, right? And then I found someone on Craigslist. My husband almost played, my husband played baseball for Indiana. Some of his friends went pro, and, he was talking to one of them, one of their guys. It's a whole nother talk show. You guys can look at my Corridor Principle. It's still the same characters. Go to YouTube, Tara Wilson, The Corridor Principle. It tells the story of how I built with not any warm contacts, because I was a network marketer. Today, you guys have tools that I didn't have. You have social media. But the point is, you have to make the decision to launch your business. If you're already here for a while and maybe you've been at the same rank a while, or you're kind of hovering around a new rank, you need to make the decision to grow. So that's the first thing is, are you going to launch? Or are you going to grow? And then you've got to like put a plan together, right? So it's not enough to say, I'm going to launch or going to grow. What's your plan? Like I just had an amazing call with Senya today, and she blew my mind. She has 1,800 people on her Facebook, and she did some Eric Worre training, and he taught her like how to do it. So she took every one of the names, all 1,800, and she's got to do a training and put them in a binder. And she literally is cultivating friendships and connections and leads, and is enrolling around 10 people a month just from doing that, you guys. So don't say, I don't know who to talk to. There's 2 billion people on Facebook alone. And there's Instagram, learn it, take a course. There's so many incredible courses. And that leads to me, my second decision is you need to make a decision to seek mentorship. I'm still on Eric Worre's mastermind. I think he's one of the best. He's always up leveling. His mentors are billionaires now. So, he's always like leveling up. And as leaders, if you want to continue to go up, you got to raise your lid, invest in yourself. So mentorship doesn't mean working with the person who enrolled you. My first mentor was Jim Rohn. And if you've been around me and you still haven't listened to the 1-hour audio on YouTube, you're missing out on one of the greatest tools in mentorship of all time, which is How to Build Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. If someone wants to go to YouTube, copy and paste it. I listened to that for 3 weeks. It's an hour long. In my DVD player, in my Acura Integra, like a DVD, like you put it in and you got to listen to it in your car. And my husband was getting like, how long is this training? I'm like, an hour. He's like, are you dumb? Like, you've been listening to it. Because I wanted to overwrite my files. I was trained to be an employee, and I had to change my mindset. I had to overwrite. So I was so enamored by that I went online and I invested $50. At the time, that was like a big deal. $50. I bought 50 of them. They were $1 each. I got the DVDs in the mail, and I kept giving them to everybody that joined my team. I'm like, you have to listen to this. It changed my life. In fact, I told somebody about it a couple weeks ago, and here, as a 7-figure earner, I sat in my office for an hour and listened to it all over again. And it blew my mind, because I wanted to see, number one, is it still relevant today? And number two, would I hear things that I didn't hear? Would it hit me differently? And you guys, it's still by far one of the greatest audios you've ever heard, and it will help you change your file. So that Jim Rohn is a mentor. I literally go on sometimes when I'm doing my makeup. Right now I'm binging Mel Robbins. Oh, her book, Leave It or Leave 'Em or Let 'Em, is one of the best books I've ever read. It's Oprah's top 3 of all time personal development. She's giving everybody, like me and Kristen Richards, we're talking over the weekend, and we're like, I'm paying my daughters $100 to listen to it, because if somebody learns these principles at that young, it will change their life. So I'm telling you, it applies to family and life, because if your family and life isn't in imbalance, your business can't be in balance. It also talks about business and relationships and socials and network and friends. It is literally hands down one of the best books I've ever read. The Strangest Secret, it's so fun to listen to, because it's like, I'm like, how does someone's voice sound like he's from the 1950s? But it does. Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. Let me tell you about the strangest secret. Men simply don't think, right? I've listened to that over 80 times. I listen to it probably once a year, just give a refresher. It's one of the best audios you'll ever have. Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, John Maxwell. I've got a signed book right here. This kind of inspired it. I was in John Maxwell's table. I paid him $25,000 to be on his table for a year. I got like 7 books. I'm like, Rachel and I always laugh because Rachel did it with me. I'm like, this is my $25,000 plaque that's sitting on my desk. It's about a growth environment, right? But the I was going to do like the 15 invaluable laws of growth, right? This is a great book because growth doesn't happen by accident. You need a plan. So personal development is the number one thing that you can do as an entrepreneur, more than building a list, more than income generating activities. You got to get your mind right. If you're not where you want to go, you know, I always say if you had everything you needed to go where you want to go, you would already be there. Let that sink in for a second. If you had everything you needed, mindset and everything to go where you go, you'd already be there. You know, here I am. I sit and do personal development every single day, as often as I can on my beautiful walks. Angie and I could brag. It's 70 degrees today. Like I was sweating earlier. I had to put the sweatshirt on just like a half an hour ago. I was wearing a tank top. It's been beautiful. So on our walks, when I'm cooking, I was just cooking in the kitchen. When I'm driving, there's no music unless my teenager's driving me in the car. I always listen to personal development. I binge it, and I got it. I'm constantly filling my head because life happens to me just as much as it happens to you. And so mentorship, um, in the early days, one of the books besides, you know, a couple years in, I started reading Beach Money by Jordan Adler, blew my mind because he actually had been in 12 companies in 11 years, Amway twice, and never had success. And he talks about how he finally made that decision and got the mentorship and started having success, right? This is one of my early mentors, Richard Bliss Brooke. I saw him in October 31st of 2010 before I joined my previous company. So about 14 years ago. And he blew my mind. And this is still one of the best books ever. I'm actually in this one. This is the 12th version. I'm sure he has more since, but this is like the How to Network Marketing, of course, GoPro, Brendan Burchard. I mean, there's so many people out there. Simon Sinek. Like, if anyone needs a list, my all-time favorite book of all, they all know it. If you're new, you don't. And it was the very first book. My sister, who was my enroller, so before we started going, before I got any rejections or anything, she comes over my house. She was like, let's have a meeting, you know? So we were like, okay, what do we do? We had our binder, we printed out everything. I had the comp plan and I had the, you
Yeah.
know, products. Oh, someone's not muted if I don't know who's the host. And so we're like, let's have a meeting. So I walk in and she's got all these brochures everywhere.
Yeah, go outside by yourself.
Destin or Dustine, you're not muted. Can someone mute her? Thank you. Thanks. Thanks. Oh, probably Angie. Good job, Ninja. And so I walk in. This is my sister, and she's a stepsister, but we grew up since we were 7. And she gives me this book, and she throws it across the table. She goes, "You grew up in the same household as I. You need this." And I read it, and it changed my life. It's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life by Brian Tracy. Still my all-time favorite book for personal development. And if you want one to start with, that would be the one. I love Get Over Your Damn Self by Romy Newstat. I love Rachel Cunningham. Angie turned me on to that one. I mean, there's so many great mentors out there. Sarah Robbins, Rock Your Network Marketing Business. That's actually my next read. I'm actually in her mastermind. Christy and I went to her mastermind, and I decided to up it with a year. Why? Because she's made $50 million. Her stack is much bigger than mine. She has built an organization that's done almost $2 billion a year. She has something to teach me, right? You always want to be learning from someone that is where you want to go and changing your mindset. So whatever it is, the best thing you can do to supercharge your business in 2025 is make personal development an absolute non-negotiable. Now, I'm really lucky. Angie always cringes because I was like, I turned off my television for 6 years, guys. I had 2 small kids. When I started network marketing, I had a 1-year-old and a 7-year-old. And then 2 years in, I had another baby. So I've done this with an infant, a 3-year-old, and a 10-year-old with a husband that worked full time. So there's no one that could give me an excuse that could top that, right? Unless, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is. But I mean, like in terms of regular excuses, I've done that. And the reason is because of my mindset, you guys. And so anyway, but Angie always cringes because I was like, I turned off my television for 6 years, but I became a millionaire and it set me up for success for the rest of my life. It was worth it. It was worth giving up The Bachelor, Grey's Anatomy, and Desperate Housewives, and then some sports. It was worth it. Now, do I watch TV? Yeah, but I've earned the right to watch TV. I actually really weird. I watch wilderness shows like Naked and Afraid and Alone. Like I binge watch them. So if you guys ever in the wilderness with me and we get caught, I got you, boo. I can build a shelter. I could probably start fire. I can boil water. I got it. Okay. I can whittle stuff, but there was no Netflix. I probably would have been in trouble if I could Netflix and chill every day. So you guys have distractions. There was no such thing as social media in 2007. There was no Facebook. There was no Instagram. YouTube was just starting. I didn't know how to do it. You know, there was no distractions. I was just going out and there was no Skype, there was no Zoom. So I had to meet people. I had to go to their houses, right? You need thick skin to stand up in living rooms from the start. My upline was my sister who didn't know anything more, and her enroller was my brother. We all joined like within a couple weeks of each other. None of us knew what to do, and our upline was like 4 hours away. She came into town once a month. So I'm like, I better figure it out. And that is the greatest gift of all, is not having someone there to hold my hand was the greatest gift I've ever had, because I took the bull by the horns and I had to become the leader. So don't look for, who is it? Dale, what's his name? Gosh, it's Coach Dale something. You'd know him, Angie, or Garrett would know him. Chris would know him, but he said, if you're looking for a helping hand, look at the end of your arm, right? You got to help yourself, guys, and that's a decision. The third decision is you got to commit to your goals. So all those goals that you made, and we're going to make more on Saturday. The corporate team has put an extraordinary program together that we'll be doing. If anyone is not going to a virtual, I'll have Angie set a computer up in my living room, and you guys can be there and participate. If you want to, let me know. We can send you the link. There's a cute little guide that you can print out. If you have apps like Notability, they're like apps that you can like take notes and stuff. You can download the that in there, so you can like actually have a workbook. But the workbook's great. You can print it out and go along. So you can do it virtually. If anyone does not have a party that they're attending, you're welcome to join ours virtually this Saturday. And we're gonna have a 90-minute goal setting session. I'm gonna start mine about a half an hour after corporate ends, because we're going to have a little lunch, and then we're going to go to it. So I will make sure, if you do, let me or Angie know. We'll put you in a thread, and we got you. So, but commit to them. You have to make a decision that those goals are more important than scrolling Instagram. If you're not doing it for a purpose and you're not consuming to learn or be, I am consuming to learn. Like, I am so careful who I follow. I say not at any time. Something that comes up on my feed that I don't like, I hit the not interested button, because I want to whittle it down to things that I'm interested in, that are going to help me with my business, my health, my life, my relationships. That's it. I don't want any fluff. I don't need to be wildly entertained, although I do like baby animals. Those can stay. But you guys know what I mean. Like, I'm very protective of my time and my energy and my headspace. But the decision to commit, and I should have started this, I meant to start this, is 2025. I just want to say, like, this should be the year of decision, because you are literally one decision away from a totally different life. For me, that happened in June 30th of 2007. I don't know when your decision will come, or if you did it and that's why you're here, but you got to commit. And so you don't just write those goals and stick them out. Bob Proctor, another great mentor of mine, he was like nothing. He was like I think he was a janitor or something. Brian Tracy was a janitor. I can't remember what Broad Poplar was, but he had a 3x5 card, because this is back in the day. You guys can you can change your home screen at any time and write your goals, so that every time you pick up this phone, which is hundreds of times a day, that you see your goal. Fun fact, all my passwords for 9 years have been my goal in LifeVantage. All of them. Every time I log into anything, I am thinking about my goal. They are written everywhere. So like, if you don't have goals written and you're not constantly committed to them and seeing them, then you might as well not have any goals, because you have to program your brain. And you have to keep reminding yourself what you want to do and what you want out of this business, because it is a business and you have to commit to it. So the third decision is commit to the goals that you set. And check up yourself every week. Have a meeting with yourself. Have a month. Have an accountability partner. If you want me or your upline, I'm sure anyone would. I'd have a goal, check with any one of you. Any one of you needs it, I will be there. The fourth is a commitment to take action. Literally nothing happens without action. We have an extraordinary product. We have extraordinary social media stories, and we have a challenge. You guys, we like Rachel and Holly and I, and then Angie and Marcy, we spent weeks designing this. I raised $30,000 from every crossline. You know how many conversations I had while my in-laws were in town? Most people be like, oh, sorry, my in-laws are in town. It's a great excuse. But my in-laws were in town, and I was on the phone all day, every day, and having to step out of dinners when, one of the presidentials called me and wanted to know what we're doing. And I had to like raise money. And I'm not a PowerPoint girl, right? Rachel's the PowerPoint girl. Holly and Brian did the intake form, like this program guide. All of these incredible tools have been created But like our job now is to promote the challenge. Every one of you should have a goal of how many people that you are going to get on that challenge, because that is what's going to grow your business and sustain it from now through April. And then don't worry, peak season for weight loss is actually May, so we're good. But you got to take action on that every day. What is your goal? How many is your goal right now? How many is your goal to get on that challenge? I want you to write it down. And what are you doing every day? If you want to have 20 people on the challenge, you're probably going to have to prospect 40 to 60 people, get them to the information, get them the program guide, get the, have a conversation, explain mind body, or send them the links, or send them some videos, and be in conversations, because you got a funnel, right? Not everybody you put in the funnel is going to come out as a yes. Some will just stay in the funnel and they won't come out, but your goal is to get them as a yes or no. I am personally, and I meant to do this earlier, I know Senya's going to laugh at me because I even had a note and then I left because I was so burnt out on being on 5 hours of Zooms. But from now until the end of the month, I am going to seriously, personally message, probably voice memo, every customer that is in my app. So everyone, whether they've ordered or not, that is in my app, I am going to personally message and say something like this. Hey, Sherry, how are you? Happy New Year. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're still loving the Tri-Synergizer, because you can see what they're ordering. But hey, and I might make it generic if I have too many, but you can make it generic. Like, hey, I hope you're still enjoying your LifeVantage products for all of my active customers. Hey, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but we're having a challenge. You can join any day in, January. We have over $30,000 in prizes, mentorship, and an incredible group. So who do you know who wants to, who has a weight loss goal in 2025? I'd love to help them. And because I'm a diamond seller, I know I make $45.60 for every person that orders a mind body set, even if they only order once. Hey, I'd love to reward you with a $25 Amazon gift card with anyone that you refer me that purchases. Who do you know who wants to lose weight? Thank you again for being a valued customer, and I hope that you have an amazing 2025. Something like that. And then I'll have one for past customers. Hey, Jill, I haven't talked to you in a while. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a great new year. Hey, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're having a challenge, blah, 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 blah. And I'd love to reward you. So I'm personally offering that because if they join the challenge and order for 3 months, I'm going to earn $136.80. $136.80. So $25, which is a tax write-off, is a good investment. It's called marketing. It's called a marketing budget, because a satisfied customer will refer about 2.3, but when you give them an incentive, it goes up to 9 referrals. So you could harvest some more leads that way. I'm going to continue to pound social media, all of the things. So you got to take action. Do it all, but please, I can't remember who I trained this. I trained this for someone the other day. Please don't post and pray. Posting on Facebook and Instagram, expecting your inbox to flood, is quite possibly the worst strategy. I have 27,000 followers on Facebook. And when I post something, I might get 100 likes or 200 likes. If it's like really good, like a family post, I might get 400. But if I post something about the challenge, I might get like 60. And then I make like 12 comments. Trust me, if I'm getting those numbers with my 27,000, what are you getting with your 1,000, 2,000, 3,000? Don't post and pray. Like Senya, again, you got to do a whole training on that. Her social media strategy is unbelievable. She's cultivating, she's messaging while she's doing stuff, watching TV. She's messaging people, hey, how are you? Happy New Year, hope you're well. And she's literally engaging with people. And it's a numbers game. You've got to message 100 people. If you want 20 to get into conversation with, 10 you want interested, 5 you want to sign up. It's a numbers game. So take action. So you've got to decide to take action, even if you're scared. And if you're scared, go back to step number 2 is seek mentorship. Read Go for No. If you're scared to talk to anybody, you're scared of rejection, Go for No is quite possibly, after Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life, step 1 for everybody, Go for No would be a great resource for that. Take action, take action. Nothing happens until you take action. Nothing happens until you actually proactively build your business. Calling your friends, calling your family, posting on social media, calling your customers, calling your past customers, and making sure your team knows what the play is. That is action. Building this like a business. If you treat this like a business, it will pay you like a business. I promise. I'm living proof. I'm not that special. I'm just a person that never quit. I work my business pretty much every day. Not all day. Some days it's 5 minutes. Some days it's 5 hours. Some days it's 15 hours. But certainly consistently, probably 99% of the time over the last 18 years. Like even when I'm on vacation, when I'm at the airport, When I'm at softball games, if I'm not walking and listening to personal development, I'm sitting there working. I'm not going to sit there and eat nachos and watch YouTube, videos or TikToks while I'm waiting for my daughter to warm up like half the other moms. No offense to the moms who do that, but my time is valuable because when I'm at dinner with my family, I want to be able to have dinner with them, right? So I try to work as much as I can. Obviously, when I'm home, I work in my office and that is, but take action every single day. You literally have to. This has got to be a year of action. We have got, like Brian Dixon said, and I think you guys have seen some extraordinary results. I mean, Angie's lost 20 pounds. I've known Angie for all my life, and that girl has, the last few years, she has a gym from like a strength training husband, and she has an unbelievable gym that would make a professional athlete like jealous. Like her gym, she works out all the time. She prioritizes protein. She eats good. Like she walks. And the fact that she got another 20 pounds off in the last 16 weeks, kudos to her. It works. It works. It works. Working works too. All right. And number 4 is persist. Never give up. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, but like I knew I was going to go pro 10, which is now presidential. I knew I was. I didn't know how long it was going to take. And actually, based on my last company, I did it in 8 months. I thought it would be a lot sooner, but I had a whole heck of a lot of fun in the 7 years it took me. But I knew I was never going to stop. I was either going to hit presidential or I was going to die. There was no other option. I was never going to quit. And that again goes back to the first thing is the burn the bridge mentality. I will do it until. I will seek mentorship. I will set goals. I will take action. I will build my mindset. I will invest in myself. I will invest in my business. I will keep going and I will learn. Rachel Cunningham, if that's her name, right? Angie, the one that she was in Mary Kay. Her story is so freaking good. She was in Mary Kay for like 15 years. She toted her original makeup starter pack around to like 7 different houses and apartments, and she would try and try and try. Her story, if you are not successful and you've been here a long time, you have got to read this girl's book, right? It's so freaking good. Yeah, working works. Angie made me that sign last year. But you have to have the attitude that I'm going to do this until I know life's going to be busy. Mel Robbins does a great job and let him. It's like, we know life's going to be busy. We know you're going to get curveballs. We know you're going to have adversity. We know you're going to have things come up. We all do. My mom died at the peak of my career. And she was one of the people who watched my children while I traveled around the world building my last company. She died 5 weeks from diagnosis to death. Nothing could be a bigger wrench than that, other than me dying, or getting some big disease all of a sudden. But like, trust me when I say I've had it all. And, I've had all of the adversity, all the excuses. I've wanted to quit 1,000 times. I really have. But at the end of the day, what else am I going to do? I love what we do. I love why we do it. You got to really have the mission in your heart. I want to spend the rest of my life helping people get healthy through products and education. It blows my mind every day that I open up Instagram and I hear one more influencer talk about how we're being poisoned, how we are the wealthiest country in the world, and we are in 7 different categories. We're number 1: most cancer, most obese, sickest, like spend the most on healthcare per person. Like, it's staggering, right? We need so many people like us. We need more wellness entrepreneurs. Yes, we need more doctors because people are getting so sick, but we need more people to prevent people from having to go to the doctor. There used to be 12,000 naturopath schools, and then Rockefeller shut them all down because why? Because he learned how to patent ingredients and make drugs. And now there's less than 2,000. So we need to rise up as a mission. We know our cellular activators are magic. We know if you lower your oxidative stress, it's going to make a difference. We know if you boost your mitochondria, we're going to make a difference. We know if you clean out the cellular toxins, we're going to make a difference. We know if you increase the number 1 protein in your body, it's going to make a difference. We know if you get on GLP-1 and you activate it, it's going to make a difference. We know if you lose weight, it's going to make a difference. We know if you get on GLP-1, it's going to help every system of your body. So get the mission in your heart, carve out time. Do not try to fit this in your life, right? Anybody have any spare time? Anybody sit around today and be like, gosh, I really don't know what to do for the next hour? Nobody. So you have to make time, just like you make time for, your fitness and your job and whatever else you want to do. I massively Make friends with the LifeVantage people. You want to go out and have a girls' night? Go out with LifeVantage people. At least you guys can encourage each other and talk to each other and check in with each other. Like I saw Christy and Chrissy and Dana and Kristen the other day and having your martinis, and I was like, now that's a girls' night out, because I bet they were, you know, they're talking, they're girl talking, right? When I hang out with Angie, we talk and we have fun and we do other things, but we also talk shop. We also, you know, brainstorm. You know, I can't stop brainstorming, right? So this could be a year, like, because we have the tools, because we have mind body, because we've seen what it is, we have the possibility of literally creating 5 presidentials just in this team. If you don't believe me, my last company is an average network marketer who had average success. I went from 0 to $1 million a month in 8 months. If I can do that, I bet you could do it this year, coming from MC1, MC2, MC3, Executive 1, Executive 2, Executive 3. I believe you can. I believe you can. It's just a matter of commitment. It's a matter of it's like a name of the game. It's the sooner and quicker you can get people on the product and have them share it and launching their business and getting to their network. If everybody knows 100 people that knows 100 people, that's 10,000 people in the first 2 levels of your network. Find them, talk to them. You know, you can build this fast or slow. I'll tell you right now, it's easier to build it fast. But I'll tell you, this is so funny. I was talking to Dick Bryan last night, and I said, if we walk downtown Scottsdale, we're in Old Town, I said, I could walk around and ask 50 people right now, have you heard of NRF2? And probably, I would say in a very generous, maybe 5 out of 50. Does that sound about right? About 5 out of 50 might know, if it at all. Walk down the street and ask somebody what GLP-1 is. The pharmaceutical companies have invested billions of dollars in advertising so that we know what it is. And we have a better way. We have a better solution with no muscle loss, with no needles, no prescriptions. That's very affordable. But we know if you do it right and you support it as a healthy weight loss management system, that it works. So I'm going to challenge you guys all to do whatever you can over the next 25 days to get as many people as you can to take this challenge, to submit their forms, submit their photos, and commit to this next 12 weeks. Because at the end of the 12 weeks, which the last one could possibly come in on April 25th, which is what? The day that all of us, no excuses, will be at Global. Can you imagine the amount of before and after pictures and stories we are going to have to take us to the next level from May through the end of the year? So make a decision right now. Make a decision that this is your year. You're going to do whatever it takes. There's 3 kinds of people, and then I'll end up. There's the kind of people like, oh, I'll try. Those people don't get very far. I'll try to talk to people. I'll try to post. I'll try to call people. I'll try to get over the rejection. I'll try to have a party. Those people don't get any far, and those are the ones that are going to quit. The second one's the most dangerous. Oh, I'll do my best. Because you think, well, Tara, there's no better than best is the best. There's nothing better than best. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Okay. You're going to get far. You might even make it to executive. You know, I'll do my best. And then there's someone like Kristen Bailey or Angie Harper or Sherry Martin or Christy Vogt and all the other people that I will do whatever it takes. I will turn over every stone. I will, like Senya, I will comb through my social media. I will continue adding people. I will continue cultivating. And she goes to networking groups and all of these groups, and she treats it like a business. This is why her income went up thousands of dollars when we launched GLP-1, because she was prepared. There's no luck. Napoleon Hill, it's when luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So what are you doing to prepare yourself for the moment that you stumble across someone like Angie Harper that was just, that was the right time and the right product, looking for something, and look how it changed her life, right? Everybody is going to be looking. And are you going to be prepared when you have the conversation with them? And so I will challenge you, again, going back to number 2, is start building your belief. Like, own the products, understand everything they do, and use this challenge to catapult this. And I promise you, you will all have the best year ever. So I love you guys. Thank you. I will, again, if you have anyone that's not registered or not attending, get registered anyway. Watch it by yourself. But if you want to be part of our goal setting session and you want to, me and Angie are going to run that at my home. We'll Zoom you in virtually. So maybe I'll see you Saturday. Thank you guys so much. I love you, and thank you for showing up here. And that's all I got for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was amazing. See what I mean, you guys? Thank you. Such a great call. All right, you guys, that is
Thank
a
you.
wrap.
Have a good night.
Love
See you
you.
next week. Okay. Love you guys.
Bye.